If the recent riots here in the UK have taught us anything, it's that people on all sides of the political spectrum, be it left, right or centre, just want to live in a country where they and their families and their children are safe. There will of course always be people on all sides and all ends of the political spectrum who are intent on causing trouble, who are intent on inciting violence and rioting and criminality. It doesn't matter what flag you carry. If you are acting in a criminal way, then you are a criminal. We have to disassociate the emblem, we have to disassociate the flag with the person carrying it. Almost exclusively during the so-called far-right riots here in the UK, the mainstream media revelled in publishing photos of typically young white men who were draped in St George crosses, the English flag, and the Union Jack, the flag of Great Britain. The opposing side, the counter-protesters, the left-wing protesters who were supposedly there to protest against fascism, racism, and indeed Nazism, typically, and in many cases almost exclusively, were carrying Palestinian flags. The carrying of different flags, of course, is going to raise tensions as it very much identifies you as one member of an opposing group. However, what I am failing to understand is how the Palestinian flag has become adopted by the left as a flag of unity and of tolerance and of anti-fascism. I am not by any means educated or informed enough about the conflict in Gaza to pass a personal opinion on it, nor would I wish to. However, the flag of Palestine is representative of a country which is currently involved in an active conflict. A conflict which has resulted in the death of many innocent civilians. Whether you are pro-Palestine or pro-Israel, to fly the associated flag as a flag of tolerance and of social cohesion is surely oxymoronic. Likewise, the flying of the flag of St George or the flying of the Union Jack does not immediately single you out as someone who is far right or racist, and nor should it. If we want true unity in this country, if we want true social cohesion, true integration, and to live successfully as a multicultural nation, then the only way we are going to achieve this is if we can live together under one flag. And living in England or indeed in Great Britain, the only flag that we can realistically unite under is the flag of the country that we live in. This doesn't mean that if you're not English by birth, if you have a different ethnic or national background, that you should discard your heritage. Integration is incredibly important, and we live in a country that is made up of different cultural elements from pretty much all corners of the world. You do not have to dismiss your history and your family tree if you wish to come here and live in peace in the UK. And we have, either actively or by proxy, chosen to call this great country home. Sorry, Phil with sunglasses here to interrupt the video. Just very quickly, if you like these videos, if you think they're entertaining or useful, then just hit the subscribe button below. Helps me out more than you know. It's totally free and you can change your mind at any time if you get a little bit tedious of me rambling and ranting. There'll also be a link below to buy me a beer if you so wish. The link will say buy me a coffee, but I think we all know the real truth, don't we? Anyway, back to the video. I like to think that if we are to achieve true social integration, and if multiculturalism has any chance of being a long-term success, we need to learn to unite under the flag of either St George or the Union Jack. It is imperative that we understand that flying a flag, like it or not, can tie us to a political movement and makes a political statement. The only flags I believe that we can fly in this country, where maybe our motives shouldn't be questioned, are the flags of the nation that we have chosen to live in. Dare I suggest that if I was to drive through many parts of the UK, I am liable to see more Palestinian flags and more Ukrainian flags being flown than I would the aforementioned English and British flags. Like it or not, this is making some form of political statement, even if it is done with the best of intentions. This isn't to say, of course, that the flying of the Union Jack or the flying of the St George Cross isn't done for political purposes or to promote a political or social ideology. It is, and we have seen that in riots of late. However, the only way I believe to reclaim our nation's flag is to normalise it. Not question every individual or every local council that chooses to fly the cross of St George or the Union Jack. Not to label those people as far right, not to label those people as racist, not even to label those people as nationalists. Just people who are thankful for the nation that they live in and the life and the security and the safety that that nation provides. That way we can reclaim the flags from these so-called far-right groups. Just look at the US, for example, and this is the case for most of Europe as well, and dare I suggest other continents. If you go to the US, the flying of the Stars and Stripes is so normalised that simply by seeing it you will not have a second thought that that person may have extreme political views. It is just seen as a symbol of national pride. Not so long ago I visited Turkey, and nearly every shop, house, government building, even boat had a Turkish flag flying from it. Did I think, oh my god, this is a nation of racists and bigots? No, I thought, this is a proud nation, and it also reminded me that I was in Turkey. Not that the 45-degree heat and the amazing food hadn't reminded me already. But what I'm saying is, if we can normalise the flying of the nation's flag, the country which we all actively or passively chosen to live in, then we can take that away from so-called extremist groups and just use it as a symbol of thanks and of pride as to the nation we have chosen to call home. This is never to excuse the behaviour, particularly criminal behaviour, of people who carry those flags. If you are a right-wing thug and you are carrying the cross of St George, you do not accurately represent the vast majority of English or British citizens who just wish to live a safe life for them and their families. Likewise, however, if you choose to carry the Palestinian flag as a symbol of tolerance, but then start to preach hate and wish death upon and wish violence upon and incite hatred towards people of an opposing political faction, then you no longer represent what that flag symbolises. I don't understand why we need to use flags to sow division. If both political factions, if both sides of any political discourse or political debate or argument turned up to demonstrations, to protests and to counter-protests, each carrying the flag of the nation that they choose to call home, then surely we would be one step closer towards true social cohesion, towards peace, towards tolerance, and to building a safer country for us and for our children. Stay safe and stay sane, everyone.